Hey everybody, today we're going to talk about why you should choose organic versus non-organic or conventionally grown products. So let's talk about what is this? Organic versus non-organic. Like you hear about it, you see it, it's a hot topic that's in mainstream media because of the health conscientious society that where we're at right now. So I'll just take a little bit of a breakdown from my perception. It's a simple supply and demand. So our population is growing, not just in the United States, but in the world. It's growing at a faster rate than we can keep up with. So what do we do about it? Especially with food. You got to feed all these growing people. So society and scientists and farmers have come up with a way in order to expedite the process of getting food products to the customer by the use of genetic alterings, by the use of different kind of chemicals and different soils, and even certain pesticides to help ward off all of these extra bugs and stuff, so that your product can actually grow in the time fashion that it was originated for. So let's just break it down a little bit further. So the Mayo Clinic defines an organic item as any product, and we're talking about like fruits, vegetables, grains, milk, dairy, and even like your livestock, anything that was grown to, and it does not include any kind of harsh chemicals or pesticides or any hormone alternatives. So on the flip side of that's a lot of stuff that's going on. So on the flip side, Natural Society actually lists even further requirements that companies are supposed to use if they want to label their product as being organic. All right. So to be organic, what does it take, right? So we talked about, all of the items that you have to be free from in order for your product to be organic or homegrown. Now, to start off, to say on your label 100%. 100% means that you are 100% free of all of those chemicals and everything we just mentioned, right? And that's when you can put on that product 100%. Now, the next step is you can say organic. Now, I know you see that one a lot. This item is organic. All right, so organic means that you have to have at least 95%. That's still a high requirement. So 95% of the makeup of that product has to be free of all of those chemicals and hormones. Now, last but not least, we see a lot of made with organic materials. Now, made with organic materials means at least 70%. 70% of that product is made up of, it's free of all of these harsh chemicals and byproducts. That's a lot of requirements for it to just say organic on a label. So think about that. Like, why do we use all of these? Why do we use all of these pesticides and all that? Think about it. Like, let's just say you go into a grocery store and you want a banana, right? Right about now, you go into any grocery store, you're going to get two types of bananas. You're going to get banana A and banana B that has the organic label on it. So think about what we just talked about for 100% organic, or made with organic, mostly organic, made of organic materials. So just think about that the next time you go into your selection. All right, so next we talked about what it means to be organic. Well, let's talk about what it means to not be organic. So again, you want the organic because it's homegrown, it's free of all this extra stuff, and it's, just good for you, right? So why do we have the non-conventional ways? We have the non-conventional ways because, again, we can't keep up with how hungry the nation is or how hungry the world is. So that stuff, you're going to have your pesticides because, again, if you're growing anything, and those who have a green thumb, I'm not one of those people. Those who have a green thumb know if you try to grow something in the garden, you're automatically going to be plagued by what? Bugs. You got bugs, you got worms, flies, and all these, even rabbits, deers. You're going to get invaded by all of these creatures that are trying to get in on the food too, because, hey, we all got to eat. So what we try to do is we came up with these certain chemical makeups to ward off all of these bugs and all of these animals, so that way that your products or your livestock can grow and produce the yield that you want it to in a timely fashion, because again, we got to meet the customer's demand, right? All right, so, but in turn, and then another way that they do it is like we have our livestock. Our livestock is growing like at a tremendous rate. One of the people who came under scrutiny recently, like I'm just going to take a company like Purdue. People went in. We have these like PETA or PETA type organizations who actually went in to these companies and viewed how they actually raised their livestock. They're bunched together, clammed together. They're not free to roam around. And you know what? It's all about how fast can we get these birds to mature so that we can eventually, kill them and get them to the customer. So we're all about, bigger breasts, bigger thighs, just bigger meat to meet the bigger demand of the customer. Okay. But how does that have a turn on you? Now, Wikipedia states that these companies are using something called GMOs, or genetically modified organisms. So what that is we're isolating certain hormones, we're using certain bacteria to help these livestock grow in the fashion that we want it to, those GMOs. But what turn does that have on our bodies? All right, so think about it. Those GMOs or these pesticides, these chemicals, these hormones, they have effects on your body. Do you understand? Like on your body. So you're eating this non-conventional item and you have a possibility of doing something that can target any kind of organ failure. You can have brain damage. You can have infertility, sterility. You can even have the big C, cancer. Now, how many cures do we have for brain damage? How many cures do we have for infertility, sterility, organ failure, or even cancer? Cancer, it's cancer. We have it and it affects certain areas of our body, but we have yet to pinpoint a cure. And we're just like, oh, these cells are just mutating and we don't know what it all started from. It could start from you eating that wrong banana. Think about that. Organ failure, your heart problems. Your cancer, infertility, you won't have any kids, or even hormones. It can mess with your hormones to where you're reflecting something like extra facial hair, or maybe you're developing at a younger age. It can affect you in so many different ways. Last but not least, we have like Harvard Medical School. They recently did a study on the same topic that we're talking about, organic versus non-organic. And they wanted to like pinpoint a lot of these things for these organic heavy people, like, hey, my life is whole organic. Like, they would just want to say, hey, does it really add up? Is it really worth it? Because we all want to talk about that big old thing in the air. Money. Because if you go in a store and you realize those 2 bananas, and yeah, I want that organic banana, but it costs more than that non-organic banana alternative. Why? Because it took a little bit more to hover over these bananas and make sure that they meet all the requirements that we talked about, that 95, that 100%, or even that 70% to be called organic. It took a lot more time and effort to get to there, where back in the day it wasn't an issue. But because I have to ward off with all these big companies that are using these products, I'm in a tight window. So Harvard Medical School, they did this study and they wanted to prove, like, is it really better for you? Is it really worth that extra buck? Because, hey, we're all on a budget too, because, the times is hard. All right. So with the Harvard Medical School, what they did, they pretty much, they tested it in 3 different areas, right? They tested these organic items to see, hey, are they safer? Are they safer as far as ingestion? Is it kinder on the environment? And hey, is this just overall healthier for you? So safer organic, yes, it is safer because it's grown free of all of these radicals. It's free of all these pesticides. It's free of all these hormones and bacteria altering, if you will. It's free of all of this stuff. So yeah, is it safer for you? 100%. They said, yeah, it actually is safer for you. So the next one, is it kinder on the environment? Like, yeah, it's kinder on the environment because you don't have all these extra pollutants being released into the air from all of these chemicals, and releasing all that stuff in the air. Now you're talking about changing the ozone, the environment, the trees, the air we breathe. Yeah, it is safer. And last night, is it healthier for you? Yeah. So we have the organic material was tested, or excuse me, the organic products were tested, and yeah, it was proved that it contains more phosphorus, which is good for your bones, strong bones, and then it also has more omega-3s, or your fatty acids, which is also good for your joints and your joints in your heart as well. So that's a lot. You have all these people, and we have Harvard Medical School who backed it up and say, yeah, it really does make a difference. So just think about that. So in short, we talked about why your organic is better for you, vice the the alternative, which is the conventional or non-organic items. Like, it's just better for you because it's good for your bones and your joints. It's safer on the environment, and hey, it keeps you from that big C, cancer, target, your organ failure, or even your brain damage, fertility, sterility, all of that good stuff. So think about that the next time you go into a grocery store and you have two options. You have non-conventional, you have organic. I think I'm going to choose organic.